So it's been raining for like the past 9,000 years straight. Not really, obviously, not really. It just feels like that once the rains settle in the Pacific Northwest, and it's cold and foggy and cloudy and not a lot of fun. And so that means fall is definitely upon us, which means for a soap maker, you probably should already have your holiday lines figured out or very close to being figured out, because you only have like a week, 2 weeks to get them all soaped and curing and ready to go for the holiday season. So for that reason, we are talking about holiday lines today, and I will start talking about it and do all the things in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 126 of 365 days of soap, and today we are talking about building your holiday line. Now, couple things. My eyes are killing me. The change in seasons from going, it just doesn't matter. It's allergies, it's a whole thing, so if I'm playing with my face a lot, that's why. That's all. 2, this video I thought would be just kind of a fun one to talk about, again, holiday lines and what we should do with our holiday lines, just based on observations that I have made over the many years of doing holiday lines. And like all holidays, we're specifically talking about the winter holidays right now for this video, but I have tried out themes and done all kinds of things for every holiday out there. And I have, opinions. And so really take that for just that. This is my opinion. This is my observation on the things that have worked for me really well in my line and things that super have not. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get to it. And we will look at some pictures of some of my old holiday products and also talk about things that you should include in your holiday lines and really probably things that you should maybe consider avoiding. So let's get to it. So to holiday lines and the things that you should and should not put in them. Now, for the most part, keep in mind, a holiday tends to mean Christmas at this point in time. And while that's cool and awesome and whatever, one thing to really keep in mind with all of that is not everyone celebrates Christmas, right? There are 7 billion people on the planet, and the majority of them are not Christians. I'm gonna double check that. Is that an accurate stat? Yeah, no, checked it. 31%. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing when you were looking at Christmas specific items, well, think about all of the times that on Christmas Day, you've received something like, and I do this to the Soap and Clay family every year because every Christmas Eve, I give them all a new set of pajamas, right? Christmas PJs. And then so on Christmas Day, we're all matching in our little PJs, but then you just feel weird wearing these brand new pajamas at any other time of the year other than that one night that you got to wear them. And maybe for a couple nights following between Christmas and New Year's, but you get it. It's the same concept. Think about how many times you've been given a Christmas specific item on Christmas Day and you're like, thank you, obviously thank you, because, you gave me a gift and you didn't have to have done so, but also weird. because after today, Christmas is over. So that would be one thing that I would definitely kind of shy away from as much as possible, like Christmas specific themes. Just because of the actual, unless you're going to start selling your soaps at, the beginning of November so people can get some use out of them between November and actual Christmas Day, I would really consider really paring down those Christmas specific items and not doing a lot of them. Definitely not focusing your entire, line on them. Now, winter themes, however, that can totally work. You can continue to use and appreciate winter scents and designs that are not specifically red and gold or red and green related to be very Christmassy, until the product is gone. I have a couple examples of this. And this one here would be one of the gift sets that I would say not the best take. Really. This was actually from last year. You guys watched me make these soaps. And I really like the crescent moon for sure. The red, white, and green swirl bar, like with the poinsettia type, whatever. That works-ish. But the other two in the line, it's a Santa's coat and a gingerbread house. Granted, these sets sold well, but they didn't sell nearly as well as the rest of my kind of more generic soaps that were in my line last year. And one of the reasons is because it's very Christmassy themed. And when I'm not putting my products on sale until Small Business Saturday for my holiday line, well, nobody's going to have an opportunity to actually use all 4 of those soaps between Small Business Saturday, 2 days after Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day, when that Santa suit is just, why do I have this in my house anymore? I'm tired of looking at Christmas stuff. So there's an example from my line that I have noticed. Now, some sets that sold really well last year, again, they all sold out, but some of them sold out way, way faster than others, would be this guy here. This guy's actually okay. And if anything, the one thing that I would take out of it would be the snow globe one, because that ultimately ended up being something that just didn't work with the whole theme of the rest of the box. But everybody liked it, thought it was cool. You could see through it, so that's fun. But this particular set as a whole totally works for just winter as the theme. You have your ugly sweater going on with some cool lines. That's something that I modeled after an I Dream in soap. And you have just the Christmas tree, but just a nod. It's not an over-the-top Christmas tree. And then you have the peppermint mocha bar as well as the snow globe. Now that's more of a winter palette. And this one sold out way faster than the first one I showed you. Now the one that did the best for me last year is this one. And so this is more of a collection of reasonably simple soaps with delightful scents and all themed around warm drinks that it was called the Wassail line last year. And it's warm drinks that you would drink during the winter season. This is not specifically Christmas related. This one sold out crazy fast. I mean, I'm talking in the first 2 hours. And so that is by far my best seller from last year. And it's also something to keep in mind when you're figuring out your holiday themes, because if it's something that's sort of universal, that's not going to be Christmas specific, people are going to be more drawn to it as far as getting it for themselves or getting it for gifts for other people. Make sense? Now, another thing to keep in mind when you're figuring out your holiday line is the design that you're going for. And by design, we just talked about it, but I'm talking more about the complexity of the design. And you want to think about that, I think, in all of your soaping for 2 reasons, but especially during the holiday season, because your making is completely ramped up, your sales are ramped up, it's a wild, crazy time. You want to think about the design of your soaps, and we are going to be talking about other products as well, not just soaps, but I do want to drive this point home before we do. You want to be thinking about your soaps, their design, the complexity of, for 2 reasons. One, if a soap is too pretty, people are less likely to buy it. Just across the board. In my experience, I don't know your clientele. Your clientele might be specifically after the really, really intricate soaps. My clientele really is not, though. They are after the actual production and performance of the bar and also the scent. And so that's my clientele. Again, if you have a client base that really, really loves the super duper fancy soaps, then cool, yeah, consider adding a couple to the line. But in the holiday season, when you are making way more, exponentially more soaps and products than you do, in August, that's going to cut down on your ability to actually produce these products. Because if it takes you, 3 hours in a pour or an hour in a pour to make this one very intricate, soap, and it takes you 10 minutes to make a more simple soap like a peppermint mocha or something like that, then you want to consider that for sure. So how pretty it is can impact sales. And in my experience, it impacts sales negatively. The number of times that I have seen and heard in my shop, oh, I can't get that, it's too pretty, I'd never use it. Wild. So many times. And so I have learned over the years, kind of scale it back. It's art. Of course it's art, but this is usable art and we want it to be consumed, because if it's not consumed, we don't get to make more. So just keep that in mind. And also the length of time it takes you to make it should be a real consideration during the busy season. Now here's another example that I did a few years ago for a gift set that went down very, very well. And look at the simplicity of these bars. There's really not a lot that went into them as far as the actual pours. They were very simple to make, and I was able to crank out, like 1,000 bars in a day and get them curing, which was good for that year because that particular year, I was really right down to the wire as far as when I needed to make my soaps to have them ready for, holiday sales. So all of the designs on this, very quick, very easy, went down like gangbusters. So that's another example of a simple line that is going to be appealing to people, and they're going to want to purchase it because none of these, while they're pretty, they're not too pretty to use. Okay, so now that we've talked about soaps, how about other products? Bath bombs, lotions, lotion bars, scrubs, lotion candles, bubble bars, etc., etc., etc. Ultimately, something like that actually comes down to just the year and the trends for the year, just in general in society, but also to how well you executed a theme. There have been many, many, many gift sets that I put together and I'm like, yes, this is everything. I love this. These are going to go wild. It's going to be amazing. One example of that, which I don't have in front of me, but I'll try and see if I can find a picture of it, would be one year, and it's not Christmas related, it's not winter season related, but there was a year where I themed soaps, which were gorgeous, with a candle that was shaped like a cupcake. And I thought they were like the cutest things ever. And people went, no, I don't want to burn a cupcake. And like, the soap is fine. Can I just get the soap on its own? And so ultimately I did do that, and I ended up selling out all of the soaps and the balms and the lip butters that were in those packages. And I was just left with a crap ton of candles shaped like a cupcake. So keep that in mind too. If you go over the top with your extra products, people are going to be less inclined to grab that and give that to someone because, well, they don't even know if that person likes cupcakes. Think about a lot of the gift sets that you're going to be selling during the holiday season are going to be literally that, gifts. And so they should be pretty universal, pretty gender neutral, pretty all of the things to be able to give to any random person. Your mom, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your postman for a white elephant gift. And so just keep that in mind if you are thinking about going really over the top with all of your extras. Maybe dial it back a little bit. Now, something else with all of the extras that I really do recommend doing is building that theme, because I talked about how well you executed the theme earlier. Building that theme around the scents and the colors that you used in the soap. So the whole line should reflect itself, really. You don't necessarily have to start out with the soap, obviously, but think about that when you're building your line. Here's an example one that actually did really well for me. And this one was years ago. But all of the soaps and gift sets that came from this particular holiday season, all of these gift sets sold so well. And it's what I consider to be a pretty basic gift set. I felt like I was dialing it in that year. My customer base thought otherwise. And so we have a lotion, just a regular lotion, a soap, a very cute bath bomb, and a whipped sugar soap scrub. And they're all scented and colored and themed the same. And so everything in that product listing was scented with cranberry balsam. Everything in that product listing had, white and reds, pinks, and greens represented. And those all went down really beautifully. Now here's an example of one that didn't go down as beautifully, although again, still sold out, but the presentation here, it wasn't there. It didn't quite hit. The colors from the poinsettia soap, from the floral soap, didn't quite match the colors that I put into the Batheron. And that really didn't match the, red and white jelly roll bubble bar that I decided to put into the line. And while the lotion bar itself is a flower, right? And that was a whole winter floral line, you can't even see it because it has to be packaged. So as far as like visually appealing for Instagram, for your websites or whatever, this one didn't super work. And as a result, I really had to take everything out of the packaging and take extra pictures. And that sucked. The first one, the one I just showed you, way easier to photograph because it's all right there, isn't it? Very nice. Granted, the bath bomb got wrapped afterwards. But anyway, that particular set didn't quite hit the way that I wanted it to. That theme, I didn't do the greatest job on. And so, learning. Since we're talking about bubble bars, every single set that I've ever put a bubble bar in, and again, this is just my audience. Yours might be completely different. Every single set that I've ever put a bubble bar in does not sell nearly as well as anything that has literally anything else in it. So instead of bubble bar, a bath bomb or a scrub or a lotion or a Batheron, or I don't get it because, during the year, people are always hitting me up and saying, hey, when your bubble bar is going to be back in stock? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Christmas. And then I make a whole bunch for Christmas and they're like, oh, well, pass on that. So the rate at which things wherein I've put a bubble bar in sell versus anything else, it's like one gift set of those to every 10 of everything else. So I don't know what it is. Again, maybe your audience is different. This is just a funny little thing that I have noticed. That said, doing an entire pack of just bubble bars goes down beautifully. That works completely well. And so I guess that means that there are just bubble bath takers and then there are not. And that also probably lends into the whole idea of if you are buying these for gifts for other people, well, we don't know if they're bubble bath takers, but we know that everybody needs to use soap and everybody's going to appreciate a lotion or something. You get it. Now, this one here is an example of another product that sold really, really well in my line, and I didn't know whether it was going to or not. I took a chance on an unknown kid, and that unknown kid was called a lotion candle. And the lotion candles sold like crazy that year in the packs, because I made 4 packs, but also all of the gift sets that contained the lotion candle as well. Those things were cuckoo bananas popular. So much so that last year I was like, I just can't. I just can't. I can't do the lotion candle thing again. I'm still very triggered by last year and how many messages I got asking when lotion candles were going to be in stock. And considering that's a product that doesn't need to be cured, I was forever pouring lotion candles in the year before last because those things were crazy popular. So this particular one developed the theme really well. Everything goes together beautifully, but also that insertion of the lotion candle totally worked out. Way better than bubble bars. So there are times when you can take a chance on things just to see how it's going to all work, but maybe still keep it sort of user-friendly and easy and not a candle that's shaped like a cupcake. Maybe. I don't know. Didn't work for me. Might have worked for you. Okay, now this picture. Now back to when I was, well, actually, a couple things. None of these colors really worked well together. The reason why these colors didn't work well together is for a number of reasons. And one of them is last year we decided to divide and conquer. And so instead of a person doing this holiday set and a person doing this holiday set, I made all the soaps and everybody else made all of the others. So the bath bombs, the macarons, the sugar scrubs. And it's 3 different brains with 3 different visions at that point that are all working on the same kit. And sometimes that works out really well. Last year kind of didn't. So again, the colors are off with all of these. If I had made my soap brighter, would have worked really well with the orb that was in it, but I didn't make it brighter. And this combination lotion bar, exfoliating bar, like the little scrubbies from Lush, worked. The people really like those products, but it's in the shape of a sleigh, like Santa's sleigh. So it didn't go down nearly as well as all of the other ones that just did not have this design. So that goes back to what I was saying before about try not to make it too Christmas specific. Another really good thing to put into your holiday lines are 4-packs or sets of all of the same type of product, right? Because my batherons, my macaron bath melts, they sell like crazy year round. And so it only makes sense that I would be making a 4-pack of holiday scented themed things for the holiday line as well. I do every year. They sell it immediately. Good times are had by all. It's great. Same thing with bath bombs. My bath bombs sell like crazy all year round. And so just do a little bit of winter theme with all of it. Not specifically Christmas, but a winter theme with all of it. And those sell very well as well. Then like onto like a really specialty product, which we played around with last year. And they sold wonderfully. These felted soap 4-packs sold beautifully last year during the holiday season. And so I thought, well, cool, we can keep making these. And we continued to make them in different themes throughout, 2021, and they didn't sell as well. And so I really do think that's more of a winter type thing with sweaters and sweater weather and all the jazz, because your soap reminds you of a sweater. And so that's cute because you're like, you want your Christmas sweater, but it's not, it's Christmas sweater soap. It worked out really well in the holiday line. And those particular designs didn't take much time at all to make. There are stencils to make this process actually a lot easier. So if you wanted to include something a little bit different than soaps or bath bombs or, all of that, felted soaps, they have sold very well with my experience for holiday lines, just not through the rest of the year. It's weird. Now, I've given you a lot of product ideas and a lot of just things. And so your brain might be going, oh, shit, I need to have this much in my holiday line. No, we should probably talk about how many things you actually need in your holiday line. I tend to go overboard every year. One of the reasons why I go overboard, though, is because, having a retail shop, you want to keep your shop looking big and bountiful and full, like it's Santa's workshop during the holiday season. And so as a result, lots of different varieties of product. The products that I have in my shop, as far as all of the different types, they have never all made it on my website. And the reason for that is I give my website customers the absolute best of the best, the ones that I'm the most proud of. And I have the others just to keep up with volume and flow and traffic. Not to say that they're not beautiful and I'm not proud of them, but to fill the shop and have a chance of actually getting through to December 24th with inventory still in stock. And as a result, I make a lot of sets, I make a lot of soaps, and I don't think you need to do that. Honestly, I'm not doing that this year. I have 4 winter soaps, and they are all winter. There is not a single Christmas theme to it. There's not a Rudolph theme. There's no themes, no tree themes, no nothing. But they are winter scents. They pair very beautifully together. They look stunning together as a set, but also I'm able to take each of those individually and build their own gift sets. So right now we're talking 5 gift sets, right? One with just the soap 4-pack, and then one of each of the individual soaps within that 4-pack paired with this year, probably a lotion, a bath bomb, and a whipped sugar soap scrub. Likely. So there's 5. You made those 4 bath bombs to pair with the 4 soaps, so you can also have a 4-pack of bath bombs. 6. How about the whipped sugar soap scrubs that I'm putting in? Am I going to put that in a special holiday pack? Of course I am, because those things sell well. 7. 4-pack of the lotions that you also put into the set. Yeah, sure. Why not? That'll go well. 8. For me also, I will add the batharones. 9. But that's a specialty thing for me. You might not touch that. And probably a felted soap line. 10. So really what I'm looking at this year is 10 different gift sets with 4, really, scent blends that get carried throughout the whole holiday season. Makes it wildly easier for your customer to pick and choose, right? Because they can't have them all. I know you want them to buy them all, but we are all on budgets and we try to be responsible consumers. And so they're not going to buy all of your gift sets and experience all of your awesome soaps. And so just having essentially these 4 scent varieties for 6, I would not go more than 6, in a variety of different ways. You can get them all in balms, you can get them all in soaps, you can get them all in scrubs, what have you. Makes it really easy for your customers to pick and make their selections. And that's a good thing, because if you confuse your customer too much, if you give them too much information, if you give them too many options, they're ultimately just going to get frustrated and bounce off the site. You know, like, I can't handle this right now. I'm just going to go pick something up from Bath & Body Works. That sucks, because Bath & Body Works is just lotion, right? Now, to that, that's not to say that I don't have other gift set offerings that are very popular during the holiday season, but those are things that I include in my line year-round anyway. So I just need to make sure that I have more in stock for Christmas, for December, than I would need in November. And by more, I mean like 6 times more, because I sell very well with things like the beard kits and the shave kits, and, you know, like my sets with Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and those sorts of things. But I sell them obviously more during the holiday season because everybody is actively shopping during that month. So I only have maybe 10 sets this year, all based on 4 scents, keeping those themes going throughout to make sure they all look good together, but they look good from their own sets. Keep it as simple and streamlined as possible for me. Helps keep the customer from getting confused. And then obviously just more of the things that I know will do well, because they always do well throughout the year. So they're going to do even better during the holiday season. Now, before we go, hold please, I do want to show you my best selling set of soaps that I've ever done. Ever. I had to restock these sets so many times that year, and I was big concerned because I had made, you know, I don't know, like 600 bars of each of the scents and only planned on doing like 200 gift sets of them. And I wanted the individuals to be sold as well. The gift sets went down so well that I had to continue just pulling from the individuals that I had made for just single sale and continuing to box up sets. And they sold out really fast. And I guess I'll put a picture up too of it. Oh yeah, no, I totally will, because that's somewhere I stole that soap. I stole one of the soaps out of it, so I can't actually show you all of them. But this one was, I don't know, 4 years ago. And this set was wildly popular. Everybody loved that. Everybody wanted it. We had a gingerbread. We had a winter, very sweet. I think this was I'd have to go back and look at my notes. Have to go find those files. But this was something about, what was this? Honestly, this wasn't even a winter scent. This had an apple in it mixed with something else, but created such a delightful little bar and such a good scent. And then you have your stock standard, you're going to need something that smells like a tree. So we had that. And then you have your cranberry. I can't get away from not putting a cranberry or a poinsettia into the line, and usually it's always a cranberry because I love cranberry. But this set sold so beautifully, and as a side note, I have 4-year-old soap in my hot little hand. 5-year-old soap. This was from 5 years ago. If you guys are interested in seeing what the lather does on all of these, that would be cool, but I don't have, unfortunately, the gingerbread still in this one because I must have taken it out to use it at some point. But this was the last box that existed in the holiday line that year, and I decided to keep it just to kind of mark and give me an example of what I should kind of shoot for with all of my holiday lines moving forward. So to recap, building your holiday lines, again, this is all just stuff that I have found over the years and what works and what doesn't for me. And so I would say, if I were giving the advice, and I am, because I'm the person in the box, don't make it too complicated. Not for yourself, not for the end user. If they have to figure out how to use your soap because it's piled high with all of this extra stuff, they're probably not going to buy it. If it's too pretty, they're probably not going to buy it. If it's too hard for you to make and it takes too much of your time, you're probably not going to want to make it. You're not going to like it, and you're not going to enjoy yourself. So that's the first one. 2, don't go overboard and give your customer too many options for your own sanity as well as for theirs. If you give them too many options, it's going to confuse them. It's going to confuse you. 3, I know you want to play with all the scents in the world, but you have plenty of time to do that. There will be more Christmases. There will be more Thanksgivings. There will be more Valentine's Days. There will be more holidays. There will be more time to soap. Figure out maybe 4 to 6 scents that you really want to use in your line and use those. And try to make all of your gift sets and everything be that same scent. You're creating a scent profile as well as a theme around all the other things. It totally works. 4, I didn't talk about it earlier. I'm going to talk about it now. Pay attention to your packaging. Packaging's hard. Like, it's a hard thing. And I go with different things every year. And I will be out with the things that I want to put in a box, and I'll be measuring them and looking at the things that I can get on the interwebs for boxes and packaging, and I'll go, yep, no, this totally fits based on these dimensions and what I just measured, and the packages come in and I'm like, shit, they don't work. So pay attention to that, and get creative with that for sure, and have fun with that one too, because the packaging is fun. But also just keep in mind that most people are going to be wrapping these and putting that, or breaking down sets and putting them in something else. So, pay attention, have fun with it, but understand that the end user is still ultimately responsible for wrapping it and doing the thing. So give them some room in order to do that. And 5, I would say, try to stay away from the things that are really, really over the top as far as your extras go outside of soaps. So making snowmen bubble bars. I did that last year. I still have one of them in scratch and dent. Nobody's picking it up. A year later. It was a weird snowman. So just think about that. Don't go over the top. Again, for your own sanity, because it takes a lot of time to make it. And 2, for the end user who doesn't want it. And again, this is just my client base. Yours might be wildly different. But if you have a client base that would respond to that, yeah, like big high art with soap, it's a thing. It's just not my thing. So I have a lot more things to do today, because now that we're talking about holiday lines, I'm realizing that I need to get to making all of the rest of my products to go with my soaps, which you guys will be seeing soon for the soaps and everything. But we're not even done with Sierra Candle stuff yet. We're still not done with the Mystical collection and getting my fall line out. So we have to wait. But I needed to get this information to you guys if you guys are struggling over obsessing over how many things you should have in your line for the holidays, what types of products, how fancy, just some opinions and advice from somebody who's been doing this for several years and has run the gamut of all of the weird things that I have tried. So there's that. But I got to go make the rest of the products for my Christmas line. Again, is the point. I appreciate you guys joining me for another round of 365 days of soap. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for a deep dive. Are we doing that? Oh no. We're doing a deep dive tomorrow of soapy fun. Bye.